to a glimpse into the moment. This is going to be an interesting conversation. So I've had a massive few days. I mean, absolutely massive. And right now, interestingly enough, I have a woman from Denmark who, well, unfortunately, positively despises me. It's not funny. Unfortunately, I'm going to read you guys the post that I made a comment on. And this woman, she has found my comment to be highly offensive. And instead of just blocking her, maybe I should have just blocked her, I stood my ground. And her opinion, she has formed all kinds of opinions about Nita. And, whatever, she gets to do that. However, here is the post, and this is on my ex psychopath, which is, it came up under the hashtag, probably narcissist that I follow. Anyhow, here is the post. It says, people cheat because they are inadequate at loyalty, at love, at intimacy, at honesty, at life. So what I say, it caught me. It caught me because I would have been a person who believed that it could be that simple, that if somebody cheated, that they were just this terrible person. They were so terrible, right? I would have labeled them and branded them, judged them, shamed them. That was me in victim mindset, right? And I have no evidence that my spouse ever cheated on me. I don't really care if he did or he didn't. It's ancient history at this point. But I have had a lot of therapy by now, right? I am 2 years into therapy, but let's get honest. I have double and triple sessions every week. I'm probably about 3.5 years into therapy and into this ground rebuild. I've taken a lot of courses. I've done a lot of reading, research about why people make the choices that they make. And it always goes back to the same thing. They're running away from something. So what I state on this post is people cheat when they're broken down from unresolved trauma. Until they heal the trauma, they'll never be able to sit within anything. They'll always be searching for a quick escape or fix. So this woman, I'm not going to tell you her name or anything, but she goes on here and she's just, she's hurt. She's obviously very hurt, and it's really quite sad because she's decided that I'm a cheater and I'm this terrible person. And I mean, honestly, she's on here calling me a cheater and calling me all these things and saying that I'm this terrible, terrible person. And so I say, you can have your opinion, but your opinion about me is not warranted. And she just is unleashing all of her hurt on me. And I wanted to talk about this tonight, not because of this poor woman who's obviously been cheated on, but because sometimes we have to stand our ground. Okay? She doesn't get to bleed her victim emotional self all over the world. And I'm not going to go into politics, but quite honestly, that's what a lot of us are doing. We are lost in our trauma so deeply that all we're doing is bleeding our trauma all over everybody else. We're doing that through the cover of control, and we tell ourselves, well, we have to have control over this because whatever your reason is, I don't know. And control is just one of many, right? But we are unleashing our raw emotional selves all over our neighbors, random people on the internet. She's just going at it here, ripping me apart, and I feel bad. And I feel bad because of my educated statement, which wasn't even inflammatory, right? It's not even disagreeing. It's deepening what this post said. When we run through life with our hurt leading us, it can bump into other people, but we're still responsible for how we treat other people with our victim mindset, with our trauma leading us. And I say that with great respect because I have been that woman. I have been that woman who, well, quite honestly, was running around with hurt. Not very many people knew it. And really, nobody felt it until I decided to stop the cycle of abuse and learn boundaries, learn to respect myself, get some self-worth. When I hit, and that was, I'll be honest, you guys, that was like a year and a half into therapy before all that hit really hard, really good. I started setting boundaries around 4 months in. Double sessions, I would have been about 8 months in reality. So they were ugly boundaries. Ugly, ugly, ugly boundaries. And sometimes similar to this, but they were boundaries. They weren't attacks on other people. That's the difference here, right? That we have to be right. That we're so hurt, we have to just be right. We can't allow somebody else their space to be right. I want you to think about that for a moment. Are you, I'm not trying to put anybody on the spot here, and certainly there's no mirror while you're watching this for me to see your face or to see you switch me off and stop listening right now. But how do you respond to people when you hear a fact or data or research or evidence or opinion that you don't like? Right? This woman's opinion is, quite honestly, all over me. It's just attacking me. She's taking my truth and she's crumpling it up and, well, she's calling me a whore. So, it's, that just is what it is, because I know my truth and I don't need to prove her wrong, but I'm tired of letting other people's opinions rule my life. Her opinion doesn't affect me. My fact affects her. I didn't mean for it to, but it does. And sometimes we have to stand for whatever it is that we are needing to be heard. And sadly, for her, I feel bad. My little one paragraph statement is getting some traction, but her hate isn't. That's good, right? It's really good that her hate isn't. I suppose that this is important and valuable to me right now for two big reasons. One of them, my last podcast about opinions, and I don't really like them. They're unsolicited. They really have no bearing on my life. So now I'm in a bit of a space where if you're going to force your opinion on me, you're going to get pushback. No matter who you are. You are. But you're not going to get my opinion. You're going to get fact. Now, prove me wrong, I'll back down. How often do you approach your life with, is this fact? Is this opinion? Is it wanted? Is it needed? Was it requested? Was it asked for? Is it going to help? Is it going to hurt? A year ago, this woman and her tirade on Nita would have hurt. Insensible me knows, I probably should just block her and exit the whole conversation. But I'm really kind of tired of people running around assuming that, like in this case, people cheat. Okay, well, if people cheat because it's they're just selfish. They're terrible, selfish people. Well, Why do we overeat? Why do we smoke? Why do we do drugs? Why do we indulge in too much alcohol? Why do we become alcoholics, narcotic addicts? Why do we steal? Why do we lie? See where I'm going? If we're going to deny one escapism as just a selfish group of people, they're just terrible people. So all these other people are just selfish too? Or are they hurt, traumatized, running from something, hiding from pain? You might not want to hear it, but I bet if you sit with it in the darkness, it'll make more sense. Stick with me until after the break. We'll come back. I'll tell you reason number 2. Welcome back. Thanks for sticking with me. Did you do any breathing exercises? I didn't. I want to tell you about reason number 2. So reason 2 happened on Friday morning. We had our court date. I filed for divorce on September 19th or 9th? 19th, I think, of 2019. I filed in September of 2019. And here it is, all the way around into 2021. We finally, all of us, no COVID cancellations, no disputing what the judge ordered 3 or 4 times. We all show up for a hearing. And the hearing was led by a judge. We were both in our separate rooms with our attorneys. And since I'm the petitioner, the judge heard me and my attorney, took our articles of evidence, met with them. They came back, and the judge came in and he said, I swear to God, he had a sparkle in his eye, and he said, "We're close. We're really close to settling." And we were really close to settling. I was surprised that we were really close to settling. I really was. No offense, to my ex. I've just been invalidated and taken to court over judges' orders so many times. I did not expect for this settlement hearing to go well. And honestly, neither did my attorney. We were both surprised. And there were a couple of small points, small factors that I needed to stand my ground on, and I needed to, they were small monetary things, and the judge was like, "I'm sure that money is gone." And I said, "I don't think it is." And I think that, like, where do I draw the line? Honestly, if I don't draw the line here, it's just going to continue for another year. And I can't do that anymore. I just won't do it anymore. So the judge went back to the other parties and into the other room. And then he came back and we had a settlement. A little more fine details there. I could have easily had let go of these smaller details. By smaller, I mean, $10,000 or under. But I wasn't willing to do that because I have let go of those details for decades. For absolute decades. And climbing out of abuse, I'm done. I am absolutely done being trampled over, being controlled, having somebody else decide my outcome. It's not going to happen anymore. So in under 4 hours, a nearly 29-year marriage, 33-year relationship was settled. The benefit of that settlement and not going to trial is not only monetary, but the massive hurt that would come to our children. It wouldn't be good for anybody. And we both gave a little, conceded a little, and we both valued the innate moving forward over anything else. And that is amazing. That is positively the best thing that two parents could do. Come together through all their differences, through all their trauma, and do what is right for their kids. Had I gone in with my victim mindset, my hurt, my pain, would I have gotten there? Would I have been able to settle? I can tell you right now, I wouldn't have. I sat in front of that judge and I told him what he asked, what he wanted to know about our relationship, the marriage, about the report from the therapist, about the abuse, about the rage. I felt the tears sting. I felt my throat close. I felt my voice shrink. But I refused to not tell him my truth. I also told him I won't be a victim here. You see, I told him Ron wasn't the only one to blame for where we're at. My ex was not the only person to blame for this divorce, for this division of assets, division of custodial parenting time. You see, I was to blame for that too. And I looked that judge in the eye and I annihilated the victim mindset. Because I knew that I was abandoning myself. I knew I had children in crisis. I knew that I had something happening in my home that I couldn't name. It terrified me. My fear controlled me. It wasn't until I flipped the tables and I began to own my role in my life. That is when I was able to lose the victim mindset, to begin truly creating a healthier life for my family, for my children and I. So I would just encourage you that whatever it is you're hurt about, whatever it is you're angry about, examine you. Examine your role in your hurt. When did the tears start burning in the back of your eyes? Was it somebody saying something? Somebody not showing up? Did somebody insult you? Did you not get the promotion that you thought you deserved? Where did you start to abandon yourself? Because if we don't stand our ground sometimes, we're going to get trampled all over and it's going to hurt. And surrounding yourself with the right people, people who can have tough, difficult conversations where you are emotionally safe. Those are the people you need to have in your life. Those are the people that you need to surround yourself with. Emotionally safe people for you. I'm not saying go quit your job because your boss isn't emotionally safe for you. What I'm saying is that when you come home to talk about it, or you call up your best friend to talk about it, you should feel valued. You should feel like they want to hear your trauma. Because that's where the real abandonment comes. Those people who are in our most intimate spaces, if they cannot sit with us and hear us, they're not your people. And I say that with so much respect because I have had to cut some people out recently. I have stood there being yelled at because I would not do what was asked of me. And as I was screamed at by this person, I continually said, "You do not hear my boundaries." It was a pretty unpleasant experience. And they still didn't hear my boundaries. Sometimes people aren't going to hear you. So you have to change the way you communicate. You need to value you more than anybody else values you. That way, the most important person in your life will always show up for you. You. Because it all starts with you. I would love some comments on this episode. I would love to hear your thoughts. I would love to hear how you succeed, how you left your victim mindset behind. And if you have a victim mindset, that's okay. If you are in the process of dealing with hurt, it's okay to have a victim mindset when you are a victim. The label's there. The title is there for a real reason. Trauma creates victims. But it's how we climb out of it that defines us, defines our character, our worth, and our value to ourselves. You don't want to stay there forever. None of us do. So give me some feedback. This is Nita Kruger-Lundberg. Give me a follow on A Glimpse into the Moment. What's up? You Are You Connection Coaching. And give us a follow over on Team Sharudo. All on Instagram. You can find What's Up and A Glimpse into the Moment on the web. And I look forward to hearing from you guys. Have an amazing day.